God is good?
All the time.
All the time?
God is good.
God is where?
Everywhere.
Okay, let's wait for the rest of the participant. So, is this pictures looks familiar?
Yes.
Have you seen yourself here? Your beautiful smile, the love in the air, right? So, my talk for this afternoon is about loving your neighbor. And this is the very essence of the CLP. Um, we love you as our neighbors. And so, you too, right? So, let's introduce myself. I'm Brother Jerome and my beautiful wife, Sis Grace, is behind. So, this picture is taken during our prenup for our church wedding. That was 5-6 years ago, 2014. And that is also our 10th year anniversary. So, pinakasalan ko lang si Sis. And the binal one is our latest family picture. This was taken this September 1, my wife's birthday. And these are my two kids, Gianna 13 and Gabriel 7. They are both like me, very sporty. They are both ballers. They both play basketball. So this is our favorite sports. Kulang na lang si Sis yung maglaro din ng basketball. So, and currently we are household head of, we call 111. Because we are from Unit 1, North 1, Unit 1, and Household 1. But eventually, this coming October, we'll be taking over the new journey in this community, which is as Brother Noel, that we're going to be a SFC or Single for Christ couple coordinator. Okay? So, let's move on. Just now, Brother Mao talked about loving God, and it's very clear. We should have our own goal, right? How we love God. And He expounded everything to you. And now, my talk is about loving our neighbor. This is very straightforward. But let's look at it in a deeper context. From 1 John chapter 4, verse 20 to 21. Right? If anyone says, I love God, but hates his brother, he is a liar. Whoever does not love a brother, whom he has seen cannot love God, whom he has not seen. So what do you mean by that? So these two are always together. Loving God and loving our neighbor. These two cannot be separated. And this is the core of our Christian life. You cannot love God, but you hate your brother, you hate your neighbor, right? So, these two, again, is our core of our Christian life. So, let's backtrack a bit. Just now, Brother Mao already mentioned these two commandments. From Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 5, these are the first commandment. Can we read, brothers and sisters?
Therefore you shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength.
The other one?
Take no revenge and cherish no grudge against your fellow countrymen. You shall love your neighbor as yourself.
Yes. So, this one is coming from the Bible, which is during when? Old Testament, right? During Moses' time. And this one is the new commandment coming from New Testament, which is Jesus Christ, correct? So, let's read one more time, just to emphasize my talk and brother's talk, Brother Mao talk today.
You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. This is the greatest and the first commandment. The second is like it. You shall love your neighbor as yourself. The whole law and the prophets depend on these two commandments.
So this one we can see in Matthew chapter 22, verse 37 to 40. And this is the totality of this talk today. Brother Mao, which is loving God, and my talk this afternoon is loving your neighbor. And this formed to be the greatest commandment. And not only us is following this, even during those times like prophets and lawyers are using this commandment. So, next, let's look at it, the characteristic of Christian love. You still remember during your younger days, who answered the slam book? There's a question there, right? What is love? So for you, what is love? Yeah, love is lakas makapuya. Lakas makatelebakbad kasi nga. But let me show you the very meaningful definition of love, of Christian love. That is coming from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 4 to 8. Okay? But I need your help. I need your help. If you can, let's fill the letters so that we can found love. Okay? Love is patient. Love is kind. Love is not jealous. Love is not pompous. So pompous is like arrogant, being arrogant. Next, love is not rude. Galing nyo, ha? Next is love is not self-seeking. Okay. Next is love is not quick to tempered. Love is not, does not brood over injury. So that one is like we don't hold grudges in our hearts. Sa Tagalog walang pagganti or being maganti or being forgiving. Being forgiving. Next is love does not rejoice over wrongdoings. Love is rejoice with the truth. Love is forbears. Forbears is, this is the one, not taking counteractions like, sinaktan mo ako, sasaktan mo kita. Nag-text ka ng ganito, bumili ka ng ganito, bibili rin ako niya. So, next is, love is, last two, hopes. Last one, endures. So, you see, brothers and sisters, this is very good meaning of love. That I know all of us have this characteristic. And it's for us to exercise those love. So, can we read one more time? All together.
Love is patient. Love is kind. Love does not envy. Love does not boast. Love is not proud. Love is not rude. Love is not selfish. Love is not easily angered. Love keeps no record of wrongs. Love does not delight in evil. Love rejoices in truth. Love always protects. Love always trusts. Love always hopes. Love always perseveres. Love never fails.
Do you believe that? That love never fails. Okay, if you believe that, let's change the love to I am. Okay? So, imagine you're saying this, that this is you. Change love is to I am or I. I am patient. I am kind. I am not. I do not boast. I am not proud. I am not rude. I am not selfish. I am not easily angered.
I hate no record of wrongs.
I do not delight in evil. I rejoice in truth. I always protect. I always trust. I always hope. I always persevere. I never fail. So if we have all these, we exercise as in couples. Do you think may mag-aaway pang mag-asawa? Do you think may mag-aaway pang boyfriend and girlfriend? So, love never fails. That is from 1 Corinthians 13:48. Maybe some of you this is the favorite verses in the Bible. Okay, let's move on. Earlier, we already learned what is Christian love. And so, let's connect this to loving others as Jesus loves. Right? In the Bible, from John chapter 13, verse 34, I gave you a new commandment, love one another as I have loved you. So, you also should love one another. This is also, Jesus give emphasis on this another 2 verses that you can find in the Bible later on in your house. And loving our neighbor is not an option. It's very clear, coming from Jesus Christ, coming from our God. It is a God's commandment. Loving our neighbor is not an option. It is a God's commandment. Familiar on the image? All of us, right? This one has been done every Holy Week, right? So, here in John 13:4-7, Jesus explained and showed the example of showing the Christian love by washing the feet of the disciple. Because in Jewish culture, the servant is the one who washes the feet of those guests, right? But here, Jesus shows the love of others, as Jesus' love means serving others. Serving others. So, brothers and sisters, how much does Jesus love us? Is it 30%? 20%? 90%? 100%? 1,000%? Good. But what is the extent of His love to us? Jesus loved us this much. Jesus loved us this much. From John 15:13, no one has greater love than this, to lay down one's life for one's friend. Can we do that? By love, true love. Jesus died for us because all of us, He loves all of us. And this is how Jesus Christ loves us. This is how show Jesus loving our neighbor. So loving our neighbor can be also shown in many ways, in our practical ways, in everyday life. As shown in the pictures, right? We can give our time to the sick, to the poor. We can imparting our wisdom to the other people. We can pray for them. But do you think it's enough? Enough to do that? No, right? Sometimes it's necessary that we prepared to offer our lives as well, as Jesus did for us. So, Jesus loves from Philippians chapter 2, verse 5-8. Let's read one more time. Have among yourselves the same attitude that is also Christ Jesus, who through us in the form of God did not require equality with others, mounting to grasp. Rather, He emptied Himself, taking the form of slaves, coming in human likeness, and found in human appearance. He humbled Himself, becoming obedient to death, even death on the cross. So, God, our Father, sent His only Son for us, to serve us, not we will serve Him. He's very obedient to His Father, right? So this is kind of the model for loving our neighbors. Is Jesus Himself for loving our neighbor. So earlier, we already defined what is Christian love. We have shown you how loving our neighbor as Jesus loves. And now let's move on more about who is our neighbor. Who do you identify as your neighbor? Is it your neighborhood? Your person beside you? Right? Who? So, let's move on in the Bible context. There's a lot of examples of showing how to love our neighbor. Any guess? Who? Anyone familiar on this one? The Good Samaritan, correct. So this is one of the example of how loving our neighbor. So just let's have a short recap. So there is this man, right, being robbed, lying down inside of the streets or the road, dying. There are two people pass by, which is one is priest and one is Levi. Did they offer a help? No. Who offered the help? The Good Samaritan. And so that this guy is a Jewish. Because in those time, Jewish they're two like not in good terms. Jewish is like a half pagan, the Samaritan. But look what he did. He served, he put his oil, he gave wine, he bandaged him, he helped him to took in the inn and care for him. So he did all what he has, even though they are like not in good terms. He showed this one, he showed his love to his neighbor. So, in summary, Jesus tells us, loving our neighbor means active involvement. So how can we do that? We just not like wishing them well, right? Example, for our everyday, all of us here in Singapore taking MRT. So let's give our seats. Let's offer alms to the poor. Let's for those kids or in our office mates, we offer help without asking or expecting any return. So those are simple involvement. So our service, our loving to our neighbor, let's offer it to God. So, I give you this reflection for today as totality of this talk. Brother Mau, this is our goal. Loving our neighbor, this is like the application of loving God and loving neighbor, right? So, I am being a neighbor to others. Put that in our reflection today. When you go back home, yeah, I am being a good neighbor to others. Just remember, Jesus loves us very much. Whoever we are, regardless we are poor or rich, regardless we are educated or illiterate, He died for all of us. He died for all of us. So, in conclusion, loving God and loving our neighbor is likened this cross. Right? Loving God, pointing up towards God. This is our relationship to Him. In horizontal one is loving our neighbor. This directs us to our fellow men, to our neighbor. And this is the core of our Christian life. Second, remember, tumitibok-tibok na puso. We learn this as Christian love, characteristic of Christian love. Third, He gave this commandment, love one another. And this is not an option. This is a God's commandment. Number 4 is loving your neighbor needs an active involvement. Like this Samaritan. Give everything what we have. give everything that He has. But, do you think loving our neighbor is an easy task? No, right? But it is possible. Do you believe? Ask me how. How? Loving your neighbor is possible with God's grace. Amen?
Amen.
We just sincerely ask for it. Hopefully, these 4 or 5 points can be remembered by all of us from this talk. And that, may God be praised.